Morning,
I am.
let's chat about what you do. Collage art?
That's right. Yeah, collage art. Yes. I got into collage right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I work as a creative director. I've always worked in design. I started in photography, but I'd never done any collage art at all. And my wife bought me a 5-day course down at Central St. Martin's in London to do contemporary collage art just for my 60th birthday, just before the lockdown. And I went off and started to do that course. And then 2 days in, the whole university closed down because of COVID, and I had to come home. But just those 2 days kind of sparked something in me, if you like. It was a kind of a medium I'd never used before. And obviously then went home straight into lockdown. So I thought, well, I'll carry this on and I'll do lots of collage, and it all kind of went from there.
Okay, so the collage art is, as you say, from beginning of lockdown. That's where you started, and I see that you've had some magazine articles and a magazine cover. You've been part of that as well.
Yes, I've had that, but perhaps the more interesting story is after I've been doing collage for a little while, I started to look around for some magazines to buy about collage art.
Yes.
And the more I looked, the less I could find. In fact, I couldn't find any magazines about contemporary collage art at all.
Yes.
Which seemed to me to be a bit of an anomaly. So I decided to launch my own magazine. 3 years ago, I launched Contemporary Collage Magazine. So for the last 3 years, not only have I been producing collage art myself,
yes,
I've also been publishing a magazine all about contemporary collage. So LC Magazine is a magazine I've produced kind of on an ad hoc basis over the last 10 or 11 years. It's a kind of a one-man creative magazine that I produce that not only has my kind of art in it, but has my photography. It's kind of an eclectic magazine. Things that I find, discarded notes, handmade typography that I photograph on the streets and make into fonts. One of the subscribers to that magazine turned out to be Tom Hanks.
and
that's a picture of him that he sent to me of him reading the magazine.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool. That was quite a journey, and I still do LC Magazine, but it's still an ad hoc thing. It's kind of I put one out when I kind of get around to it. But Contemporary Collage Magazine is a kind of a monthly digital magazine, and we also produce then 3 printed issues a year. We're just working on the 3rd one now. So yeah, so we now run an international contemporary collage magazine. That's it there. Yeah, it's been a really interesting project. So as I say, I couldn't find any magazines about collage art, and I just thought there should be one. So I decided I was going to launch that magazine. Obviously, I'd had some experience with putting an LC magazine together, so I kind of felt as though I knew how to pull a magazine together.
Yes.
My daughter Molly is also a designer and was working for Lush at the time, and had not long had a baby and wanted to move back up to our area and was looking for a change. So I asked Molly to join me as well, and so she came on board, and between us we launched the magazine 3 years ago. And we now have subscribers all over the world, which is fantastic. And we've met some amazing collage artists all over the world, interviewed probably between 200 and 300 collage artists.
Okay.
Who, the thing that always amazes me about collage art, and when I interview collage artists, is the sheer breadth and depth of the creativity that is out there that's using collage as a medium. There's just some amazing work being produced.
So most of your material, I read on one of your websites that you actually do stuff from billboards as well.
Yeah, Mike, I kind of have 3 or 4 approaches to collage. If I'm working quite small, then I will use old magazines as kind of materials. I like working with typography and texture, and creating kind of graphic style collages. But when I'm working a bit bigger, I also like to use reclaimed posters, advertising posters, billboard posters from the street. So those kind of things that most people walk past that are starting to peel off the wall a little bit because they've been pasted over about 7 or 8 times.
Yes.
So I kind of go out and I kind of give them a little extra hand, and they make it into my bag and back to my studio, and I use those. And I particularly like those because, they have really big imagery. They have
Yes.
big typography on them, and I like kind of working at that scale. And I also, I do a lot of street photography as well, so it kind of fits in with that street aesthetic, if you like.
So you do collage, photography, magazine.
Yeah, design. I also do a lot of speaking. I speak a lot about creativity, innovation, thinking differently. So I do a lot of that as well. So yeah, I like to kind of keep things varied and fresh.
How do you know which medium best suits a particular concept or idea when you're doing something?
Good question. It's a good question, but it's perhaps not a question I actually think about, to be honest. Um, I kind of I kind of do the thing that I'm interested in at that particular time, So I mean, obviously, if I'm doing street photography, I do that kind of quite opportunistically. If I'm away in a big city, perhaps with work or my creative direction or stuff like that, and I've got a few hours, then I'll put my camera around my neck and I'll go out for a walk and I'll do some street photography and I'll just see what comes of it, basically.
Yes.
But the collage is obviously more studio based. So I collage quite intuitively. So there isn't necessarily a concept behind it. It's more a question of what are the materials that have I got, and therefore let's just start working with them and see what happens. That's the kind of the joy of collage, I think, for me, is that when you start a piece, you never know where it's going to end up. You know,
Yeah.
um, you know, which is perhaps different to the way some artists work. If you're painting if you're painting a landscape, you perhaps have an idea in your mind of what you're trying to get to. With collage,
Yes.
it's kind of more of a journey of discovery. You're creating things and building layers and composition as you go till you get to a point where you feel as though that piece is finished.
Okay. The collage art is new to me, in two aspects. You're the first artist that I've met who does collage art, but
Right.
I contacted you last week. You placed another order for the boxboard canvas.
Yeah.
So the fourth order, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yes.
I thought I better phone Les and see what he does with the canvases. So then I first went and had a look, and that's when I saw your collage art, and I was like, that's quite interesting. And then, so what do you do with a boxboard canvas and your collage art?
Well, I make collage art, and the traditionally I've kind of, if I've been working small, I've been working on kind of board, but I've also worked on kind of wood panels as well, that
Yes,
almost kind of panels that I've reclaimed, that bits of wood that I've cut down into a particular shape and then I've collaged on top of those.
yes,
But uh, I decided I wanted to try working with canvas, and which is where I discovered ACF. And so I thought I'd give it a try, and I wanted to work bigger as well. And I wanted to produce pieces that felt as though they were more finished pieces of art.
okay,
So I decided to kind of work with some canvas, and you can see a couple of bits in the background there. Um,
okay,
so
yes,
there's these two here, which are the kind of the pre-framed ones,
okay,
which I've enjoyed doing. And then I wanted to work bigger. So this one here is part of a 3 collage series that I've been working on the last couple of weeks, which is kind of quite a bigger size for me.
Mm.
So yeah, it's been interesting, and I particularly like the box board canvases because they give me a solid base to work on. Because obviously, when you collage in, you're actually applying some pressure to the surface because you're
Yes.
kind of sticking stuff down, and quite often because I use a medium to as an adhesive, but also as a kind of a varnish. So quite often I'm working the paper into the board. So the board kind of backing to the canvas works particularly well for me.
Okay.
I get the advantage of working on canvas, but I also have that solidity to be able to give me some resistance when I'm applying the paper.
The collage and the material that you're using to paste, is that correct? Paste the work down. Got no issues sticking to the fabric, the canvas?
No, it works really well. So yeah, I use a gel medium,
Mm.
which is kind of like a liquid medium. Uh, and so no, I kind of brush that on, apply the paper. And of course, with collage, there's a lot of overlaying as well. So some of it's hitting the canvas, some of it's then hitting the paper that's already there that I've applied. But no, the adhesive qualities work really well, and
Yeah.
I've been really pleased so far, which is why I've been ordering some more because I kind of want to carry on, you know.
No, that's a good thing. So your collage art and your magazine, you offer packs to the people if they want
Yeah,
to get.
we try and all the people who subscribe to the magazine and people who follow us on Instagram. We've now got almost 30,000 followers on Instagram, which is
Wow.
fantastic. We've built up quite a network of people who we know are interested in collage, and we also know that you know, many of those people really like to try new things. They like challenges. They like being given collage materials and kind of some parameters to work within that they can then, you know, develop their collage art themselves. So we produce a number of collage challenges, one around vintage magazines, one around a kind of a booklet that we design with pictures and textures and color and whatever, and people just have to use that particular booklet and create collages with it.
Yeah.
We also have a partnership with a paper company called GF Smith, who produced absolutely beautiful colored papers, and we have a GF Smith challenge that we send out as well. So yeah, we have 3 or 4, you know, physical collage challenges that people order via our website, and we send those out. And the great thing is that people complete the challenges and then they send us the pictures of what they produce, which creates content for the magazine.
Yeah, no, for
So
sure. Yeah.
it's a great way of working. It's a win-win. You know, the people who are doing the challenges really enjoy doing it, and we get some fantastic work back to put into the magazine.
For sure. Well, if you would like to chat about doing something with your readers on the smaller boxboard canvases, then we must talk about it because we can offer a special deal for them.
Yeah. I mean, I particularly like those. Well, I like the box canvas as because they work really well with the collage. I also like the kind of the pre-framed ones as well, because you know, you collage onto them and they immediately feel like a finished product. You know, that you know, you've got a piece of art that's already framed. So you know, I'll be doing more of those as well.
Cool. Yeah, well, those ones, as we discussed, I think on Instagram, you can actually screw them out of the back.
Yeah,
They got 4 screws. Some of the larger ones have 8 screws, but those ones have got 4 screws. You unscrew it, and you can work on your collage or your art or whatever.
yeah,
And then you could actually stain that outer oak frame. You could stain it white, black,
yeah,
pretty much any, you know, to suit your art. That's why we chose the
yes,
light wood.
yeah.
So
No, I need to kind of give that a little bit more thought. And what's the largest frame size you do?
currently I've got some 40 by 40s, 40-inch by 40
Right.
inch, which is 1016 by 1016.
Yeah.
The 30 by 40s are sold out. I've got a lot of 24 by 24 inch, 24 by 30 inch still left, but pretty much the rest of the sizes are all sold out already.
Right.
I've got
You're a victim of your own success.
no, they've been very successful.
Yeah.
They've been very good. So but I've got another container coming in about 2 months' time, and I've got
Right.
a bunch of new stock coming in.
Because the other thing that we're doing within the magazine,
Yes.
and you can see the start of it here. It's not, this is nowhere near what it's going to be like when it's finished. But we have a studio here that's quite a decent space, and we're looking to create a kind of by appointment only gallery, so that I can still sell some of my work, but also we can sell some of the work of particularly the British collage artists that we featured in the magazine, because obviously we can get hold of their work a lot easier.
Yes.
So yeah, so we're creating a kind of a gallery space here, and once we've kind of got that up and running, then framing is quite an important issue.
So you're going to be in your gallery. You're going to have artists that are collage artists, plus
Yeah,
the
yeah,
people who've done your course on with your magazine. If their art stands out, you could sell
yeah.
it.
I mean, we're kind of researching artists all the time, so we're always looking for creative, inspirational artists to feature in the magazine. We're working on issue 36 of the digital magazine. We feature the work of 5 or 6 artists in each of those. Okay. So you're talking upwards of 150 artists that we've already featured within the magazine.
Yes.
And we know that there are some amazing artists in the UK whose work we really like, and we think creating a gallery that is the best of British contemporary collage art would be really interesting. So it's not the perfect space, but it's a space, and we can create some kind of gallery within it. So we work here every day during the week producing the magazine, so we can kind of operate it on a by appointment only type thing, and if people want to arrange to come and see the art, they can do. So we're going to give that a go.
I've got explain this picture.
Explain that picture. So that was in one of the digital Elsie magazines that I was producing during lockdown, and what I used to do is I used to post online a little challenge for people who were kind of following the magazine to do something arty for each issue, and then send in the results of what they've done. And one of the little challenges was to do a portrait of someone in less than a minute, but with your eyes closed. So you got your piece of paper in front of you with your pen. You had your subject sat in front of you, whatever. Then you had to close. Sorry, when I say your eyes closed, you had to kind of look at the person you did the portrait of, but you weren't allowed to look down at the paper. So you had to effectively do it blind and create something really quickly and spontaneously. And that was a drawing I did of someone literally in less than a minute, but without looking at the paper.
Okay. And then I see his face.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the face missed the head, and kind of got a little bit bigger at the same time. But that was the nature of the kind of the exercises, that you had to try and guess where you were on the page without looking at it. So it kind of. It threw up some interesting results, and other people sent theirs in as well, and there were some interesting kind of ways in which people had done it. But it was just like a little fun exercise, basically.
Yeah. Inspiring collage artists, people wanting to get involved in collage. What else would you recommend?
Well, I mean, one of the great things about collage is it's a very democratic medium. You don't need lots of expensive equipment or paints or stuff like that. You literally find some old magazines or some bits of paper. You need some bits of card or whatever to collage onto, some Pritt stick and a pair of scissors or whatever, and you're off. So in fact, some of the artists we featured in the magazine who produced some amazing work are doing it literally of an evening on their kitchen table. So there's nothing stopping you getting into collage art, But if you want some inspiration, then I would suggest go to contemporarycollagemagazine.com. Follow us on Instagram, at Contemporary Collage Magazine. We feature loads and loads of interesting people on there. But even better, subscribe to the magazine. It's literally £6 per month. We produce a 200-page magazine every month for just £6, and there are lots of other benefits there as well in terms of discounts off the physical challenges and stuff. And we're also starting to run some live workshops as well. We've got live workshops coming up in September and October, and those are on the website as well, so people can come along and get involved. And the final thing I would say is, if you're anywhere near Staffordshire or in Staffordshire, then we've recently launched the Staffordshire Collage Club, and we meet on the second Tuesday evening of every month, and we kind of open our doors and people can come in and spend a couple of hours doing collage with a bit of instruction and support. And those have been really, really popular. But obviously those for people more in the local area.
Yeah.
So lots of ways to get involved, but the starting point is contemporarycollagemagazine.com, and you'll find lots of information there.
Thank you so much for this very interesting chat. I've really learned a lot. I have subscribed to your LC magazine, or there was something else I subscribed to as well. And then I'm going to go and have a look at this contemporary website of yours and follow it as well. And thank you so much for trying my canvases, and I'm glad that they worked for you.
Yeah, they do work. I'm really pleased with them, Graham. They're very well done. They certainly feel very professional, and feel like they've got a kind of gravitas to them. Particularly the board canvases. They're quite weighty, and I like that. I like the fact that they feel like solid pieces of art. So I shall definitely be ordering more.
Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure, Graham. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, mate.
See you later. Bye-bye.